Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are witnessing, well, a seismic shift, a monumental moment, really decades in the making, for one of daytime's most storied dynasties. We're, of course, talking about the Quartermaine Mansion. It just crowned its new queen, and she's waited a long, long time.
Indeed. You really can't overstate the emotional weight, the strategic implications of this.
Yeah.
Tracy Quartermaine is officially the proud owner of the Q Mansion.
Proud and probably plotting already.
Oh, absolutely. A victory she has yearned for, since Alan Quartermaine first gave that house to Monica.
Right.
Decades ago.
Right.
So we've looked at a ton of fan analysis, plot speculation about what happens next, the fallout from Monica Quartermaine's will. Our mission today is basically to unpack this avalanche of huge changes Tracy's expected to unleash, especially with November sweeps likely in mind.
And this isn't just about a house changing hands, as you, the listener, definitely know. This house, it's the heart of the Quartermaine Empire, isn't it?
It really is.
Tracy taking control signals a complete power shift. It's fueled by these long-held grudges, but also, maybe surprisingly, a real sense of personal validation for her.
Yeah, there's that layer too.
It really defines the future of the Quartermaine legacy. How she uses this power, who she lets in, who she throws out, maybe literally. That's the story we need to explore today.
It's the ultimate revenge dish, served ice cold, some might say. But, it's also maybe an opportunity for reconciliation. It's messy. It's dramatic.
It's pure crazy.
Exactly. Pure Tracy.
Okay, let's unpack this monumental win for her and fallout that's already shaking up Port Charles. So starting with the emotional core of this, Monica's bequest. It wasn't just like signing over the deed, was it? This was deeply personal for Tracy. It sort of reverses decades of feeling like an outsider in her own family home.
That's absolutely the crucial point here. The sources, the fan takes, they all point to this. Monica's decision honored the sisterhood that had kind of blossomed between them, especially more recently. Remember when Michael told Tracy the house was hers? Her reaction. It wasn't just triumph, like I won. It felt deeper. Like she was finally seen, finally maybe loved by Monica in that specific way.
And the irony that the sources point out is just so thick. For years, decades even, she was reminded, sometimes subtly, sometimes not so subtly, that the mansion was Monica's because Alan gave it to her.
Exactly, a constant reminder.
So this inheritance, it doesn't just give her the keys to the front door. It feels like it undoes all those years of being, a tolerated, highly critical guest in the house.
Yeah, tolerated is a good word for it.
It's a really deep personal victory for her. A woman whose main ambition often seemed to be just, being fully recognized as a Quartermaine, with all the power and privilege that comes with it.
Absolutely. The house itself was often the symbol, maybe even the weapon used against her. It silently screamed her place in the family hierarchy, or maybe her lack of a fixed place.
And now she holds that weapon.
She does.
Yeah.
And the second she gets her hands on it, the expectation, universally it seems, is that Tracy will run a little bit power mad, at least at first.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
This isn't someone who takes power quietly or gently.
No, it's the ultimate be careful what you wish for moment, maybe. She gets the validation, she gets the control, and now the expectation is she pivots almost immediately from feeling touched and grateful to, being ruthless.
Becoming devious and maybe a little vengeful. That's the phrase popping up.
This power is meant to be used, right? And looks like the first targets are already lined up, practically waiting by the door.
Which brings us neatly to the immediate fallout for those, let's say, foolish enough to have crossed her right before this massive win landed in her lap.
And number one on that list has to be Martin Gray, the lawyer.
Oh, definitely. Martin's scheme with the will.
Yeah.
Tampering with it, trying to benefit himself or Lucy Coe. It was just such an affront, wasn't it? Especially during a time of grief.
Totally inappropriate. And now that it's all out in the open, Tracy isn't interested in just, letting it slide or settling quietly. We see her flexing that new authority almost instantly.
Precisely. Her new status as owner, the primary beneficiary. It gives her serious leverage to demand justice. Or, let's be honest, maybe just satisfying vengeance.
Probably both.
Probably. Martin manipulated the legal system. He manipulated the family's assets during a vulnerable time. The consensus online, and it feels right, is that Tracy wants to press charges. Immediately.
This isn't just an empty threat, then. This is the new lady of the manor using her clout to demand real accountability.
Right. And that legal drama alone is pretty juicy, putting Martin Gray possibly on the fast track to Pentonville. That's a place many soap characters know well.
His legal skills might not be enough to save him from Tracy's determination now that she controls the Quartermain home base, the symbolic center of power in Port Charles for that family.
Yeah, it's a potent symbol. But while Martin possibly facing jail time is, good high drama, we absolutely have to talk about the reaction that really sets the stage for Tracy's new regime.
Ah, yes, Drew Kane.
Drew Kane's fury when he lost out on buying the house.
Yeah.
Oh, it was something.
This is where the payoff just shines, doesn't it? He was absolutely infuriated when he realized the sale was dead because of Monica's real will. He wasn't just bummed out. He acted like he was entitled to that property.
Completely entitled, believing it was his right to buy it, even though the whole deal with Ronnie was shady to begin with.
And in that rage, he just spiraled into, what did the sources call it? Nonsense.
Yeah, nonsense seems about right. Talking to the other Qs about taking his place as the head of the family.
Okay, let's pause there. Drew Kane, who, let's face it, has always been kind of an outsider, sometimes an interloper.
Often an interloper.
Tries to assert himself as the patriarch over this incredibly complex, historically ruthless family. While standing on the property, he just failed to acquire. The audacity.
It's breathtaking, really. And thankfully, Michael Corinthos, who knows a thing or two about family power struggles.
Oh, does he ever?
He delivered the perfect shutdown. Just laid it out cold. Drew is not part of the family and certainly not his head.
No mincing words there.
None. And Monica's will, by giving the house to Tracy, essentially co-signed Michael's statement, didn't it? It drew a very clear line in the sand. It showed Drew exactly where his claims stand.
Which is nowhere.
Precisely. Nowhere near the head of the table. So this deep personal humiliation for Drew, it's kind of the perfect launch pad for Tracy's reign.
Right. She's dealt with two key antagonists right off the bat. The scheming lawyer, the entitled sort of relative.
Check and check.
Now, with the house secured, enemies neutralized, at least for now, she turns her attention inward, towards the people who hurt her more personally.
Because she's carrying decades of grudges, sure. But like you said, the freshest wounds, they often sting the most. And those were inflicted by her own family. Okay, section 2. This is all about settling scores. And the motivation here is really specific. It's rooted in that recent, very raw humiliation Tracy went through. To get why Tracy might go full vengeance mode, we have to remember what happened when Ronnie Bard, the temporary, kind of clueless owner...
Clueless is putting it mildly.
...kicked her out of the mansion.
Oh, that was brutal to watch. That moment was a real low for her. She ended up couch surfing at Lulu's little house, remember that description, surrounded by piles and piles of boxes.
I do.
It wasn't just inconvenient, it was a total stripping of her status. Tracy Quartermain, daughter of Edward, reduced to crashing on a sofa amidst clutter, exiled from the house that literally bears her family name. That feeling of being homeless, even briefly, that's got to be the fuel for whatever fire she's about to unleash now.
And what made it sting even more wasn't just Ronnie's actions, but how her own family reacted, or failed to react. When she needed their support, their loyalty, what did she get?
Instant suspicion, baseless skepticism. Ned and Olivia immediately jumped to the conclusion, with zero proof, that Tracy must have drugged Ronnie at that tea party.
Right, without any evidence whatsoever, as the sources put it. That betrayal from her son and daughter-in-law, people living under the same roof, it must have felt devastating, like it just confirmed their worst assumptions about her character.
And the disloyalty wasn't just passive disbelief, was it? Olivia Falconeri, Ned's wife, she really, salted the wound.
Oh, she absolutely did. In a way that elevates it beyond just family squabbling into something more like corporate warfare.
Explain that bit.
Well, the sources really hammer this point. The Metro Court offense. Olivia apparently used her influence, maybe her ownership stake, in the Metro Court Hotel to effectively blackball Tracy.
Wait, seriously? Blackballed her?
Yeah. Prevented Tracy from even checking into the nicest hotel in town right after Ronnie had thrown her out of the mansion.
Hold on, getting kicked out of the family home's bad enough, but then using your business connections to make sure your own mother-in-law can't even find a decent hotel room anywhere in town? That feels disproportionate, extremely aggressive, even for Port Charles standards. Isn't that overly harsh?
Oh, absolutely. Overly harsh seems like an understatement. It basically cut off all Tracy's options, didn't it? Made sure she felt completely alone, unsupported. It was a major power play from Olivia. It told Tracy loud and clear that Olivia and Ned weren't just skeptical, they were actively punishing her.
Wow. And let's not forget Brooke Lynn Quartermain, BLQ. Her own daughter didn't exactly rush to defend her about the drug tea incident either, did she?
Nope. BLQ also failed to give her mother the benefit of the doubt. So Tracy looked around and saw nothing but doubters in her own family circle.
Okay, now, before we start cheering too loudly for Tracy's inevitable eviction spree, we do need to add that crucial bit of context. The source material is pretty clear on this. The family's lack of faith, while incredibly hurtful to Tracy, wasn't conjured out of thin air.
Right. We have to acknowledge Tracy's history. She is quite capable of some staggering acts of ruthlessness. Her track record speaks for itself.
And that history is why this isn't just a simple revenge story. We're not talking about minor offenses here. We're talking about calculated, sometimes genuinely villainous acts going back years, acts that absolutely shaped how the family sees her.
It reinforced that perception. Tracy acts in Tracy's best interest. Full stop.
So let's quickly review the highlights or lowlights from her rap sheet. Specific examples the family would definitely remember. Framing Alexis Davis for drunk driving.
Yep. And the sources note this wasn't ancient history. It was not that long ago. A malicious move designed to destroy Alexis's sobriety, her career, her reputation.
Nasty stuff. And then there's the ultimate Quartermaine moment of cold-hearted self-interest. The incident with her father, Edward.
The classic. Tracy literally stood by while Edward was having a heart attack. She withheld his life-saving medication.
She just held it back.
Held it back. Until he signed crucial legal papers that benefited her financially. This isn't petty drama. This is bordering on attempted homicide for money and power.
And there have been countless other ruthless things over the years that built that reputation. So, yeah, while the family instantly assuming she drugged Ronnie was a painful betrayal for her.
Her track record is unfortunately the reason they didn't automatically leap to her defense. She kind of earned that skepticism, didn't she?
Sadly, yes. But Tracy being Tracy, she likely believes loyalty should trump history. And since it didn't...
The eviction notices seem like the required penance in her mind.
All right, let's talk targets then. Who is getting the boot from the new queen of the castle? Who's on the list?
Okay, the consensus on the eviction front starts easy. The sure bet is Ronnie Bard.
Oh, definitely. No question there.
Ronnie started this whole humiliation spiral for Tracy. Ronnie's eviction will be swift, permanent, and probably very satisfying for Tracy to execute. She'll likely tell Ronnie not just to get out of the house, but to leave Port Charles while she's at it.
Good riddance. Purge the mansion of the symbol of her recent defeat.
Exactly. But the real juicy speculation, the real drama, involves the family members. Is Tracy really going to kick out Ned and Olivia? Her own son and daughter-in-law, the ones who doubted her?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
There is strong fan desire for it, certainly, and heavy speculation that Tracy might evict Ned and Olivia, maybe just temporarily, purely as payback. Payback for their lack of faith, and especially for Olivia's Metro Court stunt.
Poetic justice, forcing them to feel that same displacement she felt.
Precisely. But then there's the counter-argument you raised earlier. If Tracy is supposed to be honoring Monica's memory, and Monica often tried, however dysfunctionally, to keep the family together.
Right. Wouldn't evicting her immediate family, even for a short time, completely undermine that goal right from the start? Isn't that a huge contradiction?
That is the essential conflict within Tracy's character, isn't it?
Yeah.
She operates on high principle and low vengeance, often at the same time.
So how does that play out?
The speculation suggests that even if she does kick Ned and Olivia out, it wouldn't be a permanent ban. Think of it more as a temporary symbolic punishment.
A timeout.
Exactly. A dramatic timeout. A very clear message. I own this place now. Your loyalty is noted, or lack thereof. A reminder of who's in charge.
Okay, so a power play, not necessarily a permanent exile for them. And what about Book Lynn?
BLQ is also on the potential chopping block, yeah. Since she doubted her mother too regarding the tea incident, Tracy tends to be thorough when settling scores. She'll likely want every single doubter to feel the shift in power.
So let's map out the new welcome mat policy at the Q Mansion. Ronnie Bard, permanently banished, possibly from the entire zip code. Ned, Olivia, maybe BLQ. Potential temporary eviction, a lesson in loyalty and status is likely intended.
A short, sharp shock, perhaps.
But the one person who is absolutely 100% definitively persona non grata, permanently banned under Queen Tracy's rule.
Drew Kane, no question. His little fantasy of entitlement is officially over. He won't be getting past the front gate.
Right. So the house is cleansed, the lines are drawn. What happens next?
Well, once the necessary purges are done, Tracy can pivot. She can start using her new power more constructively, bringing the right people back into the fold, establishing a true Quartermaine legacy, but on her terms.
And the first person she'd likely focus on for that rebuilding effort is her grandson, right? Gio Palmieri.
Absolutely. Tracy adores her grandson, Gio. That connection is genuine.
Yeah.
And this house, this mansion, it's a powerful tool she can use to anchor him firmly back into the family structure, something she probably feels he needs.
And the timing seems right for that, too. The sources mentioned Gio was already thinking about moving back in, even when Ronnie briefly invited him.
Right. And even more significantly, he apparently confessed recently to Emma Scorpio Drake that the Quartermains are his family. That admission feels like a big step. It suggests he's emotionally ready to actually commit to them, to belong.
So this is a real chance for Tracy to use her newfound power for something genuinely positive, making the house a sanctuary for him, maybe, instead of just a battlefield.
Exactly. And if Tracy doesn't just invite him, but really insists he move back in, using the house as that symbol of belonging, of this is where you belong.
It carries more weight coming from her as the owner now.
It really does. And if she succeeds, if she pulls him back into the mansion's orbit, the speculation is that this could be a huge step towards healing some other rifts. Specifically, maybe helping Gio let Dante Falconeri and Brooke Lynn back into his life more fully.
Ah, okay. So the mansion, under Tracy's control, could become a catalyst for broader family reunification, proving it's not all about vengeance for her.
It shows another dimension, yeah.
Yeah.
Power used not just to punish enemies, but to repair family bonds. But let's move from the grandson to maybe the most anticipated reward of this whole saga.
I know where you're going with this.
The formal recognition of the true hero who saved the day. The furry one.
We have to talk about Outback Quartermain.
We absolutely must dedicate proper time to the unsung protagonist of this whole legal drama, Outback.
The narrative just demands it, doesn't it? Tracy has to reward the creature, like that phrasing, the creature that facilitated messing up the sale of the mansion from Ronnie to Drew.
And that creature, of course, is Cody Bell's adorable beagle, Outback.
Let's just relive the heroic moment for a second because it was key. Drew was literally seconds away from getting Ronnie to sign those final sale papers. The documents were right there.
Poised for disaster. And then, Outback just swoops in, well, maybe snatched is the better word, snatches the real estate documents right out of Drew's hand.
It's completely absurd, hilarious, and it only works in a soap opera universe, but it was perfect. The dog starts this chaos, causes a critical delay.
And the sources had that funny line, didn't they? That animals can sense evil, and Outback obviously smelled it all over Drew.
Which, honestly, given Drew's behavior, maybe not entirely wrong. His fury over a beagle interrupting his grand plan said a lot about him.
It really did. But the key thing is, that document snatching bought precious time. It gave Ronnie the pause she needed to maybe rethink, to tear up the papers. And crucially, it gave Tracy just enough runway to arrive, dramatically, holding Monica's actual will like the ultimate trump card.
So the dog is arguably the single biggest reason Tracy is now queen of the castle. He bought her those vital minutes.
You really did. MVP most valuable pup.
So what's the reward for such indispensable service to the crown? We know BLQ had Outback mostly confined to the stables, right? Which seemed kind of against Tracy's usual, albeit notorious, anti-pet indoors policy from the past.
Right, there was that old Tracy policy. But now, expect a complete reversal. The speculation is strong. Tracy will likely make a point of telling Cody that Outback is not just allowed, but welcome in the main house. Full run of the place.
That's the big reward, freedom to roam the manor.
It signifies Tracy's gratitude, sure, but maybe also signals she's embracing a bit more. Domestic chaos. The kind that comes with having a loyal, potentially document-shredding beagle around.
And the ultimate honor, the symbol that seals his place in the family history books.
The speculation is just too good not to mention. The beloved Pooch might be formally recognized, given the family name, as Outback Quartermain.
Outback Quartermain, I love it.
The irony is just delicious, isn't it? And so symbolic of the current power dynamic. The dog, through sheer chaotic loyalty, earns the right to use the Quartermain name.
While Drew Kane, the guy trying to claim leadership, is permanently barred.
Exactly. It sends such a clear message about who Tracy values, who she sees as having true merit in her eyes. A loyal beagle who messes up her enemy's plans is far more valuable than a manipulative relative trying to fake his way into the legacy.
The image of Outback trotting through the Q living room while Drew can't even get past the driveway. That's the perfect picture of Tracy's victory, isn't it?
It truly is. Okay, so we've seen Tracy wield her power to evict rivals, reward favorites, both human and canine. But the real test, maybe, of her reign and how she actually honors Monica's memory, it might lie in something unexpected, an act of, dare I say, domestic generosity.
Something that requires her to move beyond her personal grudges at least a little bit.
Exactly. This is where the narrative seems to pivot from the high-stakes corporate and family drama to something almost, well, out of character for the Tracy we often see.
And the speculation centers on an olive branch offered to Ned and Olivia.
Yes, but offered in a very specific, very Quartermain way, the gift of a pizza oven.
A pizza oven, seriously.
That's the theory gaining traction. That Tracy will give Olivia Falconeri the pizza oven she's apparently been wanting for so long.
Okay.
It's seen as this tangible gesture aimed at reconciliation. It suggests that even if Tracy's still fuming about them, thinking she drugged Ronnie, maybe that anger will have cooled off by the holidays. The timing feels significant.
But why a pizza oven specifically? Why not, I don't know, some expensive jewelry or just cutting them a check? What's the symbolism of this particular domestic appliance?
Well, it connects directly to the history of the house and maybe to Monica's underlying desire to create some semblance of normalcy amidst the chaos. The pizza oven directly addresses the infamous, long-running Quartermain Turkey Day curse.
Oh, right, the curse.
Yeah.
Every Thanksgiving, like clockwork, they somehow lose their turkey and wind up eating pizza. It's practically a holiday tradition for them.
Exactly. It's an unavoidable, almost comical staple of their Thanksgiving episodes. And we loop back to our previous point. If Outback the Beagle now has free run of the house,
Oh, no, Outback is definitely stealing the turkey this year, isn't he?
he is the prime suspect, reinforcing the curse for the foreseeable future. So the pizza oven isn't just a random gift. It's almost a practical surrender to and acceptance of the family's inherent, inescapable dysfunction.
Huh. So it means they won't have to frantically call Luigi's for emergency pizzas anymore. They can actually fulfill Olivia's wish to make pizzas right there at home.
Right. It shifts the Thanksgiving chaos from an external scramble to an internal, maybe slightly more manageable domestic ritual. It's Tracy acknowledging, maybe even embracing, the family's weird traditions instead of fighting them.
That's surprisingly thoughtful in a way. A warm gesture, as the sources call it, aimed at maybe thawing things out between her and Olivia after the eviction threats and the Metro court ban.
Exactly. It suggests Tracy understands that owning the home also means fostering some level of domestic peace,
Okay.
even if it's pizza-fueled peace.
And thinking about legacy, this feels like it honors Monica's unspoken wish, doesn't it? Monica always seemed to be struggling to make that giant, imposing mansion feel like a real, functional, loving home, despite all the backstabbing.
She really did. So, by providing a tool for domesticity, for continuing a family tradition, even a cursed one, Tracy is arguably demonstrating that she does plan to honor Monica's vision, that she intends to make the Q Mansion a home for everybody.
Ensuring the chaos is at least managed internally with homemade pizza.
It confirms that even while she's plotting revenge, Tracy recognizes the house needs to function as the family anchor. It's an act of limited, very focused forgiveness. It shows her wrath really only extends to those who directly threaten her ownership or the family name itself. Like Drew.
So the underlying message is, you can doubt me, I might throw you out for a bit to teach you a lesson, but ultimately, your family, come back and we'll have pizza together by the new oven.
Everybody. Except Drew. He's still out. Permanently. No pizza for Drew.
Never. Which brings this whole deep dive full circle, really. Tracy's victory over enemies like Drew and Martin reshapes the political landscape of Port Charles. But bringing Gio back, rewarding Outback, and gifting that pizza oven, that sets the domestic stage for the next chapter of the Quartermain saga.
Yeah, this deep dive really shows Tracy moving from what felt like decades of just simmering resentment to sudden explosive power. And she's using Monica's final gift, the house, not just as a weapon for pure destruction, but more like a strategic tool.
A tool used as leverage for vengeance, yes, against those who disrespected her or her claim, but also, crucially, as a foundation for some limited forgiveness, some reunification, all symbolized, bizarrely perfectly, by that new pizza oven. It's the ultimate exercise of control, maybe, using both the carrot and the stick.
And this leaves us with a really interesting final question, doesn't it? For you, the listener, as you watch Tracy settle onto her new throne as the queen of the castle, when she inherits this ultimate symbol of Quartermain power and uses it like this part ruthless score-settling, part unexpected domestic reconciliation, what does that tell us about what legacy really means for the Quartermains?
Is it just about control, about wealth, the endless fighting for dominance?
Or is Tracy actually attempting, in her own uniquely chaotic, Tracy-like way, to finally forge a stable center, a place where this famously dysfunctional family can actually gather, endure, and maybe most importantly, sustain their own weird Thanksgiving traditions, by finally making their own darn pizza.
Something to definitely think about while we wait for that first eviction notice to drop. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the New World Order at the Quartermain Mansion.